Hi darlings, this is the Soul Queen here on Dr. Michael's show. Our guest today is a man who wears many hats and wears them well. He's a talented musician, a skilled publicist, working hard to amplify the voices of other artists, and someone who truly understands the power of legacy and presence. In a world where fatherhood is often complicated or absent, his story stands out. He was raised with guidance, love, and consistency with present and active father, a foundation that helped shape not only the man he is today, but also the way he moves through his personal and professional life. His journey speaks to the quiet strength of being supported, of knowing who you are because someone helped you. Believe in yourself early on, from the stage to the studio and everywhere in between. He's bringing that same sense of grounded purpose to his work and relationships. We're excited to hear his story, the music, the mentorship, and the meaningful impact of having someone always in his corner. Please welcome the Seun Rave.
Hey! OAP where they feature artist. Seun Rave.
Baba, nice to see you.
What be the Seun Rave? Where did it start from?
Wow, that's a very good question.
Let me close the door.
What should I offer you?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you very much. I had something to eat before I got here.
Yeah.
And I also had something to drink.
Wait, I get your point. You don't want to ease yourself. You don't want to go to ease yourself, use the...
Not necessarily, I'm just full at the moment.
Because this place is nice. So
Yeah, it's nice though.
And of course the toilet will be nice too.
I'm not necessarily looking forward to using the toilet. So.
Because are you afraid of your bladder or something?
No, not really.
Okay, so what's the origin? So I have two things to ask. What's the origin of Seun Rave and then OAP where the feature artist?
It's a very good question.
And this
I don't
really like this cap.
Thank you very much. My tailor and I go collect the credit. For the Seun Rave, when I was back in school, my university days, University of Lagos to be precise. So I happened to have this group of guys in my hostel. Still at Jaja Hostel, by the way.
Okay.
For those who went to
Unilag.
Yes, Jaja Hostel. So I met these guys. They were like groovy guys like myself.
Yeah.
Because I was very adventurous when I was, especially being a fresher. And then they happened to belong to a particular club. So what they did was organize club sessions, entertainment. That was what they did back then, entertainment services. And they started to talk about, how they used to go to clubs, organize parties, blah, blah, blah. I was very interested because, that was naturally what I was drawn to as a person. I did that even before I got to Unilag. I did a couple of parties when I was in secondary school. You don't want to know the story.
Are you serious?
You don't want to know the story. So,
you don't even look like someone that goes clubbing.
So you don't go. You will not see me in my element. I'm just older now. That's just.
It's a lie.
Yes, I'm just older now. That's why I'm a lot calmer.
I'm sure there are pictures of it.
On my pictures.
Pictures no did that time.
No, I don't have any. I don't have any pictures. To be honest, I don't have any pictures.
But where's the evidence? You don't burn out.
Where's the evidence? That's the evidence in the Seun Rave now.
Oh,
yes. Now the name of the club is called Rave.
Okay.
So if you joined the club,
yeah,
you would pick up a name. So for you now, Dr. Michaels,
Rave.
Dr. Michaels Rave.
Oh,
so Seun Rave.
Right.
So we had different members. There was Boye Rave. There was Basit Rave. Those are my closest guys. And I think you would even know Boye Rave. Boye Rave happens to be a popular ex-influencer. And he works here in Ibadan too.
Oh.
So yeah, we went to school together. So
okay,
that was how we came up with the name Seun Rave. But now I even call it the Seun Rave. It's more like a brand name now.
Seun Rave. Yeah.
Yes. And for the second question,
OAP with the feature artist.
OAP with the feature artist. I naturally wanted to do music.
Right.
I think I was telling you.
Yeah, you told me.
But my dad would, kick against.
Is he an engineer?
Not an engineer.
Why did you then ask you to?
So he felt like I was trying to do that for the wrong reason. I was all about fame. I was all about money. And I think based off of his experiences in that field, because he also happened to be in that field, he was very close to that field. He worked as an advertiser. So, you have different encounters with models and stuff like that. That kind of lifestyle, he didn't want it for his child, apparently. So he kicked against it. And what also did not help my situation back then was that I had like A1s in my core subjects.
Right, you look like
You know.
the bright one.
Technical drawing, further maths, mathematics, chemistry. You know, I had distinction in those different subjects. So it was just very coincidental that he said, okay, you know what? Since you
are that good,
yes,
you should not waste it on music.
Electrical engineering. But I wanted to do music deep down. Even at some point back in school, I was like, Daddy, I want to cross over. I don't think this electrical engineering is working for me. Because I was performing poorly, to be honest.
It's a lie.
I was performing poorly because I was always out. Jaye, you know? And I'm like, this thing won't be for me. But it wouldn't budge, to be honest. So I stopped with electrical engineering. I ended up doing 2 extra years.
Whoa.
Yes, 2 extra years.
Wow.
But getting to OAP with the feature artist. So I met this particular producer.
Yeah.
His name is CMAT.
Okay.
So he sort of liked how I went about my themes.
Yeah.
And he felt like he saw some certain things in me whereby I could start to promote artists, start to promote music, which I had already been doing anyway. So he felt like I could use another platform to do that, which is by featuring artists, just the way you find DJs owning songs, DJ Neptune own songs, Spinall and myriads of other DJs who own their songs and their masters. So he said that I can be an on-air personality and feature artists on music. So that was what brought about. He actually came up with the name OAP with the feature artist. And that was how I stuck to it. And it was a very catchy phrase, to be honest. And this is what I have stuck with ever since.
You know what I noticed in this stuff? First of all, did you find it difficult getting this?
Not really. I mean, so I think one thing I have observed, if you live especially in the Southwest, if you speak English, Yoruba, Pidgin, very good. You know how to ask people for directions, and of course, use your maps. So I used the map, and I also asked people, so it wasn't so difficult.
It wasn't difficult. Okay. I was going to ask that. I noticed that you mentioned like 3-4 men. You sound like someone who has had a lot of influence of men in your life.
Yes, I would say so. I mean, my dad is somebody I looked up to.
Is a lie.
Yes,
a man looking up to father is a rare thing, though. You and
you
and Daniel.
Well, so I used to deny it because there were certain things. I mean, there are certain things that you see about particular individuals that you might not like, but then there are particular things that you just find yourself doing because your romance are playing in your banili. That kind of thing. You were saying your banili. So my dad was like always a very proactive person.
Right.
And he was very serious. He was a disciplinarian. He is a disciplinarian.
Wow.
He is a disciplinarian. Even though he's relaxed a little bit. I mean, he's older, way older now. So all of those.
Like how old?
He's in his 60s.
Are you the last one?
I'm actually the first one.
Lie.
I'm the first one. I'm the next father of the house. I'm the next father of the house. So yes, I never knew that I was picking up certain traits.
Right.
You know, that my dad used to exude back then. Because my dad most times will be out of the house as early as 4 a.m., you know, going hustling, and he comes back late in the morning, like the next morning, because he's always like shortly in Ibadan, Lagos. He's like so when he left his advertising career, he ventured into business.
Right.
So he used to like be a major distributor for Ankara. Yeah. So the factory was in Lagos, which brought about the short link between Ibadan and Lagos consistently. So it was always very hardworking, and I mean, it takes a lot to put food on the table for a man, right? And he delivered in that capacity. I mean, I never suffered. I went to school and I ate well.
I mean, you went to Unilag.
To be honest, he didn't want me to go to Unilag.
Where did you?
He would have preferred that I was closer to home.
Where is home?
Home is Ibadan.
So Ibadan.
We're from Ibadan. We originate from Ibadan. Agbole is.
And you know that Mogaji came to my mind when you said you're the next father. The word that came to my mind was Mogaji, but I just felt.
We have Morini Mogaji.
Wow.
Mogaji Morini.
That means that you might be a Mogaji one day.
I don't think I'll be lobbying for that post. I don't.
Do they lobby for it?
I think you need to lobby. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The way, so maybe naturally, the way it was supposed to be is by succession. But you know, everything is politically inclined these days. So I don't see myself in that lane.
So Daddy had a strong influence, or has a strong influence on you?
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Wow.
did have a strong influence. Absolutely.
But you didn't want to accept initially.
Yes, I didn't want to accept because they were saying.
Is it a shameful thing? Because I know that guys.
As in, when people say, you're just like your dad, I don't want to be carved in an image whereby it's seeming like, yes, this person is like being likened to another person. I just wanted to be myself.
Your own
I wanted
self.
to have my own thoughts.
Your own
I wanted to have
person.
my own image as a person and have my own accomplishments.
Or are you angry with Daddy?
No, I'm not angry with that. I'm not angry with that. This is feeling like a session already. I'm not angry with Daddy. No, I'm not angry with Daddy. No, I'm not angry with Daddy. No.
But is it someone you would like to be like? You want to be like?
So my dad. That's a very tough question. To be
Really?
honest. So now I'll tell you why I believe it's tough. So my dad now is a convert. He's like I don't want to call him a pastor, but he's a missionary now.
Is a lie.
Right? And it's
So are we looking at a missionary in the mission?
so that's why I said it's dicey. People tell me that I have a calling on my life. People tell me I have a calling on my life. I am not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how that's going to.
Seun Rave the missionary.
What form that would take? To be honest, I'm not quite sure what form that would take.
We might be looking at a pastor.
Time will tell. I don't think I would be a pastor. I might have some role to play in terms of
Ministry wise.
the ministry.
So you're already accepting, you're already preparing yourself.
Not like I never accepted it. I was just because I had like a lot of things I wanted to accomplish. Because for me now, part of my goals, I'm saying that on camera, part of my goals is to like produce like the biggest Afrobeats show in Ibadan.
Wow.
So I have like a couple of artists I've been thinking about to bring to Ibadan, like stadium showcase, stuff like that. So I'm not quite sure how that fits in with that sort of mission work, which is why I've been a little bit hesitant about accepting. But yeah,
so
time will tell.
So now I see what you're running away from. Like, Daddy reminds you of that part. Like that part should still wait.
Exactly.
So who else again? Like influenced you? Like men.
Donty. I was speaking to you earlier about him.
Yeah. Slash FM. Where else again did you work? Slash FM, 32 FM.
Jams FM. Inspiration FM. We worked at Jams together. Worked at Inspiration together.
Wow.
Yes. And so I think it's becoming more like a pattern. I try as much as possible not to be like certain people in my life,
right?
But they end up having like the biggest influences in my life.
Wow.
Donty happens to be one of those examples. So a lot of other staff members had their reservations about how he dealt with
his style of management.
His style of management. But to be honest, I thought it was very effective.
He's a good guy.
I thought it was effective, to be honest, because everybody was just they were scattered in terms of how they conducted themselves. They didn't have the level of discipline that was necessary to perform at the level that was required. So he brought that, and they didn't seem to like it because it was different from what they had experienced. Experiencing fatherly love, and then now getting to experience what might seem like tough love, which is quite a contrast from what they were used to. That sort of affected how they saw him. But I felt there was something in there. So I think maybe it's just one of the very great privileges of great people. I think great people are able to support other great people. Right. And which was, I think, what I saw with Donty, and which was why I would give him like a listening ear. Anytime he spoke, I was ready to listen, because I felt like he had done a lot, and I was, of course, progressing on this front in these fields. And I felt if I had to, of course, go further than even himself, I would need to, hear from his experiences, because that's how you learn, to move on that path. So yes, it was like another person who influenced me greatly. I was telling you of how he would consistently tell me, you have to use social media, be on social media all of the time, whatever you're doing, post. And he does it till today. If you check his WhatsApp status, he's always updating. I even saw recently, he posted himself when P-Square came to Ibadan.
Yeah.
He brought them to Ibadan and they premiered, I think, was it Do Me? Yes, I think it was Do Me. That song was like a monster hit back then. Everybody was raving about Do Me, by P-Square. So he brought them to Ibadan and he premiered their song on his show.
Wow.
So I mean, these are like the things, of course, that I align with. The sort of path I am following, which is what I have been doing over time, promoting artists and doing, things along that line. So yes, he's one of those who actually have, some sort of influence on the character I built over time. And one other person happens to be Big Dada Wong. I'm not quite sure. Do you know him?
No, Dada Wong.
So he's on voice retainer for Glow.
Oh,
so that man that says
that
Glow
strong voice.
Yeah.
That's him. Your voice.
That's him. That's
the origin of your own voice, because you have a unique voice.
To be honest, I listen to him all of the time.
And then do ladies talk about that voice? Do you use that voice outside the radio room too?
Outside the radio room? What do you mean?
Do you use it in the other room or like?
But to be honest, they always call me like that. I sound like a sugar daddy.
Yeah, now that's
what they tell me. I sound like a sugar daddy.
Can you just do one thing? Say something.
Say something. I'm saying something now.
Or say spread.
I don't want the ladies doing nasty things. But of course, Big Dada Wong, Femi Showoli, is his actual government name. He also had an influence on me.
Right.
So I got to experience, I mentioned experiencing fatherly love.
Yeah.
And, getting to express like tough love.
Yeah.
So Dante was like the one who brought the tough love. He was the one who brought the fatherly love.
Wow.
Because he was very lenient with everyone. And he also, I think having a balance to both sides keeps you in check.
Right.
You're not like on the opposite ends of the spectrum. You tend to put like a balance. There's a little bit of love, fatherly love when necessary, and there's a little bit of tough love. Yoruba say, that kind of stuff. So yes, I believe that he brings some sort of balance. So it was actually my first contact to media work.
Oh.
Yes, he brought me on the radio.
Whoa.
I actually started off as a production engineer.
Wow.
Because to be honest, I wanted to go do sound engineering, my master's in sound engineering. I haven't done electrical engineering.
Yeah.
As I said, I was very passionate about music. I wanted to do music. So I felt like going to do sound engineering would put me in the line whereby I got to, of course, produce music and, engineer sounds and stuff like that. So I started as a production engineer in the studio and, of course, did some library work, download music, edit music. And then there was one particular that I was speaking to another man, brings me to another mentor.
Another man.
His name is Johnny Edward. So he used to work, so he still works with the Punch newspapers, I guess, yeah. He works with the Punch newspapers as an editor. So he was speaking to me about football.
Right.
And he liked my views. He liked how I articulated my views.
Right.
He was like, Bros, now come on our show now. Come on and analyze on our show. That was how I started. But trust me, that show was a disaster. My very first time. I stuttered all through because I was very nervous. It was my very first time. I was like, so like thousands of people are listening to me now. I can't imagine this. So eventually I got, accustomed to being on the radio, and the fright, of course, was reduced. And then I started to, of course, do entertainment shows. And that was how, of course, I progressed from there onward. Yeah.
I noticed that you have a playful side and a strong side. Playful, and serious side.
Yeah.
As a man, it's a little bit difficult for so many men to be able to balance the two.
Yes.
It's a lot of work. And I feel that you are so privileged to also have strong men in your life.
Yeah.
So how do you think you are really doing something great in that area, like balancing the two?
Which is what I mentioned about, experiencing fatherly love,
and tough love.
helps you balance.
Yeah.
So, experiencing both sides, how much of this side you should apply and how much of this side you should also apply. Because I think society has enabled weak men.
Right.
And it's part of what's leading to the degeneration of our society today. We have weak men lying all around. They can be fathers in their homes. They can be husbands to their wives. And this lives about some... I'm looking for the right way to describe this. It lives about a gap.
Right.
Because it affects the children. Children don't get to... Because me, you get out, my papa will take look me. They don't never talk. If he looks at you, there's like the African parenting, whereby there are signals that they pass on to their children. They look at you, you know that you're supposed to stop what you're doing.
Right.
But these days, you see that parents are always looking for excuses for their kids. Don't be too harsh on them. Because to be honest, corporal punishment worked for us. It worked a lot. But now these days, I can't touch my sister.
Right.
I can't touch. It's that bad. I can't touch my sister. She's going to flake. Why will you be beating a girl? Because to be honest, these things, they worked for us. And it brought about... So there are certain things that even if my parents are not here, I dare not to do. They're not here physically, but the fear of my parents
are watching or are waiting or are somewhere.
So I'll tell you something. People in the industry tell me that I don't actually look like one who's in the industry because maybe... So, I mean, I dress... I'm very fashionable.
Yeah, very.
But they expect you to look like a certain way, I mean, I don't have so much hair. I don't even have hair to do dreads and stuff like that. But they expect you to have like maybe tattoos, body art, and stuff like that. But even if I wanted to do it... Daddy, mommy. So, I mean, I wear studs sometimes.
Right.
But if I know I'm going to see my parents, I take it off.
Right.
I take it off. They might see this They might see this anyway. But I mean, if they get to see it, it will not be... So it's also...
Is that of respect? We said it's the same thing.
Yes. It's a sign of respect. You respect your parents. Because that's how we were brought up. And I also had some motherly influence as well. My late grandmother, that's my paternal side.
Right.
I lived with her like most of the time. I mean, she dated me till I was about 13, 14, thereabouts. Yes. And we're like very close. So she was an illiterate, but she was like the smartest person I came across in my life and the most hardworking. So I see where my dad even gets his traits from. Yeah, because she was very thorough. Very thorough. My grandmother, even till her 90s, because she died 103, till her 90s, she would ensure that she cleaned the house.
Is it like...
And I'm kind of wondering, this woman, they tie her. And we tell her, hello, Joko, go and sit down. She's unable... I don't want to say she's not restless, but she gets uncomfortable with unclean environments. So, I mean, of course, I lived with her like most of the time. So we used to like share the toilet bowl.
Right.
And she happens to be a Muslim. And she died a Muslim because I'm a Christian and my dad converted.
Right.
So if you're using like the bowl with her, she's not even satisfied that, because we as men will stand to pee, and they as women will have to sit down. And for Islamic people, they don't once urine touches their garment, it affects their prayer and their purity. So she would constantly tell me to either sit down or move closer to the bowl to ensure that the urine gets into the sink directly.
Right.
And also she would admonish that, as a man, you need to wash up. You don't, because naturally, I mean, what most men do is just, of course, shake off their genitals. So, which is why, for me, because I lived with her, I cannot use the restroom without having water. I need to wash my genitals. It was what she thought.
Men don't wash their genitals.
They know they wash them. Why their boxer they gba? Why they gba? You go gba. I mean, imagine that you're about to have like a lucky night with a girl now, and then that is your stumbling block. Don't spoil.
The night don't end with that.
Bet you she's telling her friends. And that is like, It ruins your chances of getting with the pack.
Jeez.
Wait for not counting like 5 girls, but
5.
so sorry. Opportunity is lost.
You don't go with
You
that.
don't go with that. So she made me understand the importance of hygiene.
Right.
So if she had to like use the toilet bowl, even in spite of her telling me how to do it, she will still have to wash the toilet seat
Again.
before she gets to sit on that because she's
Wow.
not comfortable.
Wow.
And she doesn't want to take chances that
Prayers.
this is not having urine on it. So yes. Also another influence. I think they say something, "Obìnrin bí ọkùnrin."
Right.
That was how she was.
In short, you had a balanced view, a male view and a female view.
Yes, absolutely.
There's one last question I want to ask before I do truth or dare.
Hey. Truth or dare?
Don't worry, I have so many truths. So like, it's just one dare. I can only give out one dare.
Okay.
And I'm really happy that Profile Africa is capturing this moment because I really want to see your reaction.
Wonderful.
During the truth or dare. What experience? Has there been any experience that probably you had with daddy that you would not want a repeat of it between you and your son?
Argument.
You guys are strong. You have a strong personality. He has too.
Very, very, very strong personalities.
Wow.
Very, very strong personalities. And what's that saying that 2 captains cannot be on a ship? So it's more like egos clashing.
Right.
You know, he has his view on life, and of course, what do they call that? Baby boomers? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, you have your view on life. I have my view on life. I fall into another generation. So I expect that you respect some of the things that I say, even though I also try to respect you as my father, as, you know, one who birthed me. But they know they agree, African parents. They are always right. They know they agree. And so I found a way. So now another influence I think I didn't mention was my cousin who I lived with when I was in Unilag. I stayed off campus at some point. I stayed in the hostel during my initial stages and I stayed off campus later on. So his response to almost everything was to stay quiet. If they follow you, fight. Quiet. If you know they follow you, fight. Quiet. So I got to assume that figure later on. So anytime, because I was like very temperamental before, anytime maybe my dad said things that I was displeased with, like constantly get into arguments, blah, blah, blah. But now, quiet. And that's in the Pan-African parents, to be honest. They prefer that you're reacting.
Yes, a parent said
yes.
A parent said it this morning. At least you should be angry. Let me know that he's working.
They prefer that you are.
If they pay them,
I'll just walk away.
What's in the happen? Is this trying to prove that he's not mature?
I'll walk away.
Did I even shout? Did I shout?
And to be honest, if they favor me,
yeah.
If they favor me,
now update,
because
now update.
It has the potential to ruin one's mood.
Yeah, your energy too.
Yes, your emotions get affected by these things. And that can set a pace for all that happens during your day.
Yeah.
And your night.
Yeah.
If it happens during the night, you're unable to sleep.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about this.
Yeah.
Some people like are very close to your father, for instance. So I found a way to numb myself in such a way that I don't react to these things. They say, your mama was for me. I mean, I've lived with my dad for like the longest time, so I know what he's like. And I've learned that, okay, this is maybe what I should do in these times, that these things tend to happen. So I think it's worked well. So anytime that we are together, of course, and he gets to react in certain ways, I know how to deal with that. So I think I will not like a situation where myself and my child
would have that kind of
arguments. I don't think it's healthy for anybody.
Right.
No.
Okay, so I want to let's do sharp.
Truth or dare? Sharp. Where's my truth or dare? Oh well.
Okay, yes. Just one or two. Okay. When was the last time you lied?
Ah,
But you have to answer within 2 seconds.
2 seconds. I can't remember.
Good. When was the last time you cried? Men don't usually cry.
I can't remember.
And I cried like some days ago.
What
Okay. What's
the
your
crying
biggest sexual fantasy?
Am I supposed to reveal that on the camera? Ah,
It's okay if you're not
but I'm not
comfortable.
married.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So let's go to the next one. 2 predominant love languages.
Send me pictures. Oh.
Okay.
Send me pictures.
Okay.
That's all I remember.
That's what you meant. Okay. What's that non-sexual thing that turns you on? That's like the last thing.
Buy me food.
Buy me food.
Buy me food.
Nah, amala or something. But people.
Oh God, amala, I love it.
Cheese.
With abula. Amala with abula. And all those bokoto, big meats.
Okay. So there, someone will make you shout. Call your crush.
Eh?
Call your crush.
I don't get crush at this time. So I
You don't
don't
get
get
crush.
anybody. Shall I get? I don't get.
You don't get.
I don't get.
Okay. My dears are not that good. They are all called
the one person you do now. The one person you do now.
Okay. So there's this something that we usually do. I'll take a selfie.
Okay.
I'm trying with if there is a good background.
Ooh.
Okay. So how was like the show or like the chat?
It was smooth.
Right.
I got to express myself in certain ways I did not even think I would. Yes, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. What do you think about Castawell? I think I asked you before.
It's serene.
Yeah.
It's clean. I like it, and it's very quiet. Yes.
Yeah. And then the setup of Profile Africa.
Yes, this is good. It's very good. I believe that, of course, there are always
There's always a room.
rooms for improvement. Yeah. Improvement.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. So picture now.
Well done.
Okay. So are you ready?
Oh yes.
Good.
To show that they have it.
To prove a point.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So
The third one.
what will I say?
Because I want to try and go through, I want us to go through the 3
Okay.
major problems and then try to see how we can help young guys
Okay.
who are going through it and then
Right.
see how we can go around it and help them.
I think another